We'll start with an opening statement, then we'll go to questions.
Hard to win any game. Very thankful to win this game. Thought we did a lot of great things in the first half and for a portion of the second half. I thought the thing that we struggled with was guarding the bounce there in that, I guess, maybe 6 or 8 minute stretch where we went from up 17 to down 1. Great execution on the last play by our entire team. Very thankful for the win. But I thought that how we have spent our time in preparation for road game number 1 with a very inexperienced team, I think the wisdom that they will accrue from the lessons that come from this game will help us over the next 17.
Hey, Buzz, why did you call that play there at the end?
Yeah, interesting, Olin. So when I walked into postgame in the locker room, I asked the team, the name of that play, Olin, is Kevin. And the reason it's called Kevin is the person that taught it to me, his name was Kevin. And it's been in our playbook for 9 years. So it's been in the playbook at the last 3 places that I've coached, and we've never run it in a game. So I asked our team, how many minutes, guys, do you think this season we've practiced Kevin? And they go, Coach, we were just talking about it before you came in. I said, well, what's the number? They said 4. And I said, okay, it's a great lesson. I need you guys to hold me accountable to all of the special situations, even when we don't want to do it, because Kevin, I understand Marcus made the shot, but the execution of Kevin is what led to the shot. And so, yeah, I thought it was obviously thankful that he made it.
But why go to Kevin if you've never run it in 9 years? Why was that the right time to go to Kevin?
Yeah, so without being over tactical on it, Olin, it was 5.5 seconds left. And so we called the timeout. The free throw shooter was shooting 63% on the year. And I wanted to talk to him about a make or a miss. I didn't know if they would miss it on purpose. That's kind of a gray area. Normally you would miss maybe with a little bit less than 5.5. And so I wanted to talk to him about both scenarios. And then on a make, maybe you noticed it, maybe you didn't. You need to let the ball drop because Kevin is a full court play. And you've probably heard this before. For every second, you should count dribbles. And so 5.5 seconds is enough for 5 dribbles. It'll get you where it's not a half court heave. And it's kind of on the line. Do you want to run a play to get it to half court and call another timeout so it's sideline out of bounds? That's probably somewhere between 5 to 8. But for us, if it's less than 4, we're going to run a play where you're trying to throw the ball over the half court line. If it's more than 4, we're going to try to advance it on the pass in the front court, knowing how many dribbles we had. So we ran Kevin in practice, and it's been in the playbook for literally the time, score, momentum of what this particular situation was.
And does Marcus always take the shot in Kevin?
Yes, sir. And then there's some other layers to it if Marcus is not able to catch it. Dre we call Dre on that pass the Lazar Hayward played for us in year number 1 and year number 2 at Marquette. Lazar is the guy that takes it out of bounds. And then we want a ball guard catching it, but you remember Henry set the screen, which forced the switch. And that's why you run Kevin. You want to force the switch. There's some other things behind it, but we were able to hit the first option.
Thank you.
You mentioned the defense's issues with the ball and dribble. It wasn't really much of a rotation issue. What was it? Just a footwork and being acclimatized to the speed of those kind of players issue?
I thought 3 was phenomenal. And the scouting report, Travis, 3 and 10, their game is very similar. No middle, no middle, no middle. That being middle penetration. Most of their penetration doesn't occur from the baseline. It happens in the channel and it's going straight downhill. And then play 20, 11, and 1 as catch shoot. And you're right. It wasn't action that got us into rotation. What got us into rotation was that ball was going downhill. We didn't do a great job of being physical at staying in the drive. In other words, changing the path in which the dribbler is running or dribbling. he was just going straight. He was dribbling on the boards that he started his first dribble on. Those were the boards that he shot the ball from. And our low man, the guy that's protecting the rim, not necessarily the tallest guy, whoever our low man is, the guy at the hole, he's got to be engaged a little sooner. So our low man was late 6 times in that run. And then I don't know what the exact number was, but 3 was phenomenal at getting downhill, and 10 did a really good job of getting downhill and creating shots for 10, 11, and number 1.
And then I believe this is the first win A&M has had to open a conference slate on the road since joining the SEC. Is this just an example? Yeah. Is this just an example of why that is the case and why it's so difficult to start on the road?
Well, it's hard to win a game. It's hard to win on the road. It's hard to win at home. I think the numbers will say as the conference unfolds, I think our league will be the best it has ever been. And I don't think that it's necessarily based on non-conference records. I just think that there are more good players than ever before. There are multiple Hall of Fame coaches that are in this league. And, like Travis Henry played better tonight than he had played the previous 3 games combined. And I think what he did for us was what we need him to do. And I thought Aaron Cash's ability to get offensive rebounds to give us more possessions. We were never in the bonus in the first half, and we didn't get in the bonus in the second half. You can look it up, but it's in the like 2 minute and something left to go in the game before we got to the bonus. For a team that's as reliant on free throw makes as we are and have to be, for us to never get to the bonus, that's hard for us to overcome. Our offensive numbers, points per possession, were the best that it has been all year. Some of that is because we shot a higher percentage from the free throw line, but also some of that is because we got so many extra possessions on the offensive glass. I think that the value of a possession, and it's all of the things that you and I constantly talk about, those things will never change. But for an inexperienced team together, and relative to their age, an inexperience at playing at the highest level, their response to up 17 to down 1, I thought their spirit and their togetherness was Oregon State-like from start to finish from everybody in the group. Hassan is almost an assistant coach in his ability to say the truth. 4 was phenomenal in his impact on Marcus. 4 was great with Q. And 4 is not necessarily playing when he's telling them what he's telling them. Q's maturity, we would not have won with Q playing the way he played last year or his first year. Our response to all of the good stuff and all of the bad stuff, I thought was as good as it's been all year. And like I told the team, in truth, it's going to have to be like that in order for us to have a chance. It's easy to talk about now because Marcus hits the shot. But if Marcus doesn't hit the shot, it's still going to come back to what's our R going to be.
Anything else for Coach?
I have one, if you don't mind, Coach. You mentioned a little bit earlier there were things you'll learn tonight that you'll take for the next 17 games. What are some of those things that they'll take?
I think the first thing is after 13 games, after our non-conference slate, this is a little bit too much nerdy, but it's revealing. 19% of our possessions came from a dead ball. For a team that wants to play with pace, 19% obviously is a high number. A dead ball meaning the clock has not stopped, or the clock has not started until the ball's in play. We have to improve in our dead ball scenarios, not just offensively, but defensively. Where is the ball at? What are we doing? Who do we need on the floor? Is the ball full court? Is the ball out of bounds under? Is the ball sideline out of bounds? We have to spend a little bit more time on our execution of dead ball, because like every coach at their press conference, hey, we're going to play fast and this is going to be a fun style. Yeah, but like I was telling our guys before we came to Georgia, if this is the length of the normal game in non-conference, in January, the game shortens to here. And then by the time you get to Valentine's Day, the game shortens to here. And then by the time you get to the SEC tournament, the game shortens to here. 19% is a lot. And I think that on both sides of the ball, because if it's happening for us, 19%, it's going to be in the teens for the opponent. So now all of a sudden, who do you have in and what are you doing defensively? Are we switching? How are we guarding the ball screen? Who do we want in, et cetera, et cetera. And so those ATOs, I think we went 4-1 in the ATO in the first half. I haven't seen the second half numbers because I just finished with radio, but I think we went 3-2. Like those ATOs and those dead ball situations, that ends up being a much higher percentage than maybe normal person would think, including players.